Very interesting.
Right.
First is from Hank Beanie, and the subject is, should Rhea Ripley refuse to work with Nia Jax? Hey guys, top guys in WWE have a say on who they will work with. Do you think the same luxury is afforded to the women? The reason I ask is because of the return of Nia Jax. 2 weeks ago, Stevie Richards released a brutal breakdown criticizing Nia Jax's reckless work against Rhea Ripley. In the video, Stevie called out the WWE for enabling Jax. After the video was released, Rhea posted a picture on Instagram of Jax sitting on her. The picture is almost identical to the thumbnail from Stevie's video. It may be a complete coincidence, or maybe Rhea is being passive aggressive with WWE. After the Sasha Banks fiasco, do you think that Rhea Ripley would have enough say on who she does or does not want to work with? And is WWE setting themselves up for a lawsuit by having Nia Jax out there? That's from Handsome Hank. I've got a very pointed, controversial take on this. Okay. I'm going to go out on the limb and say that this is all related to the fact that Roman Reigns is going to wrestle The Rock at WrestleMania. Okay, because like all these things kind of like, if I'm a conspiracy theorist, all of these add up.
Yeah, they converge at the same time.
Rock was at the show. He was in Colorado. And maybe, what the funny thing is, like everybody thinks that like The Rock was on Raw because, he went to go see Dion in Colorado. I'm wondering if they wanted to bring The Rock to SmackDown, excuse me. If they brought The Rock to SmackDown was the initial plan.
I think.
And The Rock said, well, I'm coming to Colorado. Dion, I'm going to go see the 1 foot in front of the other. What was the initial, thing there? Was Rock going to go on game day and support Dion?
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around. Nobody's talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if The Rock could, had discussions with them and stuff, like one of the conditions of him, like working, hey, you need to bring back Nia Jax. She's family. She probably
Joe.
Joe. Go ahead.
Sure. Yes.
What is Nia Jax to him? A cousin?
Yes.
Okay.
Family.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, I know, right, but I'm just asking. I wasn't sure what she was. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that was. We don't know the conversations, the private conversations.
Right.
My guess, based on the evidence that I'm looking at, is that was all. This is all baked into the cake. Bring Nia back. I'll come. Like these are conditions for Rock. And Rock may not wrestle. Roman WrestleMania. My whole narrative is blown up. But if Rock does wrestle in WrestleMania against Roman, and that does come to fruition, I would profess that this was one of the conditions to bring Rock back. And I don't think a lot of the girls are probably happy having Nia Jax back in the locker room because we've seen it numerous times. She's not the safest girl to be in the ring with. Period. She's over. She's a good character. She's big and she's big size girl. But I can't imagine any of those girls, based on the hits and further. You see a million of these clips. She's hurt a lot of girls because she's big and reckless, and I don't think they're happy having her back. So that's what I would say. What do you think about that?
Well, what I didn't understand was, so this guy said that. What's this girl's name? That there's a video of when Nia Jax was reckless with Rhea Ripley. I'm assuming that's a Samoan drop outside of the ring.
Well, she attacked.
No, it's when she did the Yokozuna splash in the corner. And
the landed right on her, and it did not look safe at all. At all. Yeah.
So then he says that Rhea Ripley put a picture of her sitting on her, right?
Yeah, from that move. Okay. That was not safe looking at all. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering if she was kind of being, she is reckless, or if she was making fun of her and going, "Oh, look, she's on top of me. Don't worry about her," like that. And maybe I'm reading into it too much.
I guarantee you, these girls are, bro. Where's most of the drama coming in the locker room from?
Yeah, the women. But what I don't understand is why would you let Rhea Ripley, as hot as she is right now, the great match she had with Charlotte, as over she is with Judgment Day, as over she is by herself. Good merchandise seller with the mommy on top and all that. Why would they let somebody go in there and be reckless with her? I doubt
right,
Rock
well,
said use her and let her do whatever she wants
this is
because
a very
he wasn't reckless.
this is a very simple answer to this question.
Okay.
Once you text your boy, your best friend's son, who's in WWE right now in a very prominent position, and ask him what the deal is. And let's get a scoop here on keeping it 100. Let's get the facts and find out what's going on. So you know what to do.
All
You
right.
know.
Remind me, Joe,
All
when
right.
the show's over because I
All
forget.
right. All right. Next is from Brad Price, and the subject is AEW New Era. Hello, K100. Look forward to tuning in each and every week. My question is about how AEW is building this week in their new era of Dynamite. I didn't. By the way, I didn't notice this. They're talking about a new era. I didn't notice this. But will it
Yeah,
really
they
change
have
at
said
all?
that.
Okay, just because Edge of the Rated R corner Adam Copeland, as he seems to be known, joins, does that change how AEW will be booked and presented going forward? Do you think the production will change from here on out? What do you think they mean by new era? And do you think it'll be effective? Also, Conan, I was watching what I believe was your first WCW appearance with Ray Sr. against Norman Smiley and Chris Adams in some international tag tournament. How'd that match come about? Because the tournament was awful, and also the Steiners were so stiff it was unbelievable. To everyone in that tournament, how'd you feel about that at the time? That's from Brad Price from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. You've talked about your interactions with the Steiner brothers in that, but I did not know that you and Ray Mysterio Sr. wrestled Norman Smiley and Chris Adams in the first round of that tournament. Do you have any comment on that?
Right. So that was the Pat O'Connor Memorial Cup. That's the first time I met Paul Lee and Jim Ross too. And I actually gave Paul Lee a good line that he used on the air. And ever since then, we were pretty good friends.
Your microphone is scratchy a little bit for
Just
some
a
reason.
little.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but
It's still.
scratchy.
Yeah, you need just come back like a
Okay.
few steps.
Let me get closer.
Yep.
Right.
I'm just here trying to corral my dog. Can you hear me better?
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
So that was the Pat O'Connor Memorial Cup, which is, for those of you that don't know, that was an old school wrestler, and they brought like teams from supposedly, well, Chris Adams and Norman Smiley were representing UK. I was representing Mexico as gratitude for Rey Mysterio breaking me into the business. I I requested him to be my partner, and they said yes. Then they had a legit Russian amateur shooters. I think they got them from New Japan when Inoki was doing all that amateur wrestling stuff from Russia. They had the Steiner brothers, obviously, representing the U.S. And I remember there was a weird team. It was like Ted Petty as the Cheetah Kid, the guy from
Right. Cheetah Kid. I
what,
remember that.
Yeah,
what
no,
was
he
that
he
team?
he 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 played Colonel de Klerk for that event because they were the South African tag team. He was on the South African team.
And what was the other guy?
His name was Sergeant Kruger, but there's no Wikipedia for him, so God knows.
They were the
Okay,
racist white guy South African tag team. I can
yeah.
imagine back then.
And what I remember about that, I remember a couple things. This is why I always loved Bobby Eaton. I remember that I was doing a house show, and I forgot who the agent was, but he basically told Bobby, "Hey, we need to put this guy over for tonight." Bro, I was a nobody. Bobby Eaton was Bobby Eaton. Bro, he didn't make a face. He didn't fight it. He didn't do anything. He put me over. That's why many, many, many years later, we went to Alabama. I don't know what city he's from. And Arn
Huntsville.
Anderson came. Where?
Huntsville.
Huntsville. We went to Huntsville, Alabama. And I remember that I was very over at that time. And he came in and he goes, "Hey, Bob Eaton's here from Alabama. Would you mind putting him over?" And I said, "It would be my pleasure, bro." And I put him over strong. Place popped. But I do remember a couple of things real quick. I remember Ted Petty did a tope over the top with like a forward,
Somersault.
yeah. And bro, Rick Steiner moved out of the way and he crashed and burned and he just laughed at him. And I
Oh,
remember that
man.
when we were trying to put the match together with Scotty and Rick, Scotty was nowhere to be found. He came in like literally 5 minutes before the match started. I think I was able to get one high spot with him really quick, and the rest was just him, as you can imagine, suplexing everybody around. And that's when That's when WCW was still called NWA. I think that was their last show, and I was on it.
Yeah, the Steiners
And that's
were
where I
rough.
met, and that's where I met Norman Smiley, and I invited him to Mexico.
They've always been known as rough or stiff or whatever, the Steiners. But I remember then they messed up Cactus. I think Rick gave him a bad concussion with a suplex, and then they were just, you could tell that they were a little hard on the underneath guys, a lot. You know,
Master of the obvious. Once again.
I
Yeah,
just
everybody,
who knows?
all the top guys were like that, bro. What do you mean just the Steiners? All the top guys are basically
No, the
like
Steiners
that.
specifically were known to beat up the job guys, but it's like, they didn't care.
100%.
Next is from the
The Nasty
Supervisor.
Boys, yeah.